About 6 months after I graduated, I got a job offer from WTTG in Washington, D.C. At the time, it was owned by Metro Media. They did the 10 o'clock news, one newscast a day. They also did an afternoon public affairs show called Panorama, and the host of the show was Maury Povich. And then he left, and Pat Mitchell took the job. In any event, I was kind of naive. I came in, the news director said, I flew in, and he said, well, look, we don't pay a lot. You'll make, we're offering $25,000 a year, but you'll be on the #1 newscast at 10 o'clock, and that'll be great for your career. And it wasn't until after I'd accepted the job, I moved there, and I realized they were the only newscast at 10 o'clock. I mean, everybody else was on at 11, but, it was Washington, D.C. It was a big market. To be perfectly honest, I wasn't ready for a big market, but luckily, the station was a little less than, ready for prime time at that time. It had been a powerful station in the 60s, and then as technology had moved ahead, they hadn't kept up. And now today, WTTG is, as powerful as any of the owned station news departments. But we were, in fact, I guess it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks after I got there, there was that Hanafi Muslim takeover, and I barely knew the city, and Marion Barry had been shot. And the news director comes out in the newsroom and looks around, and there's nobody because everybody's out. But we don't have live trucks. We have to, at the time, we had to do, everybody else had live trucks. We had to tape stuff and shuttle it back. And the news director came out. I was sitting at my desk. He goes, Roker, you're going to go to the hospital, DC hospital. You're going to go cover Marion Barry. Ooh. I keep looking around thinking maybe there's somehow, miraculously, there was another Roker behind me. And so I went and I did, but it was a weird, I'd done little feature stories, but I had never, done a shooting about a city councilman. So it was an odd feeling, but but we everybody got through it, and the greatest thing that happened while I was there was Willard, who was. You can't even imagine how big Willard was in Washington, D.C. at the time.
I think Willard Scott.
Willard Scott.